everybody, this is Math Movies coming with my review of Ratatouille, the 2007 Pixar film that I personally think is underrated in the Pixar filmography. It's not my favorite film of the series by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's in the top 2 or 3, but it's definitely up there. I think it's a very creative film and a lot of fun, and I feel like there are a number of really memorable characters, and there's a lot of emotional depth to it that you didn't necessarily think there would be when you heard the principal concept. And I feel like part of the reason why this movie doesn't get its just due is because of its concept being very over the top, and I do kind of understand that, but I feel like the characters are extremely well written, and this movie is actually surprisingly dark in sequences as well, but and overall just a very fun time. I wouldn't say it's necessarily as funny as some of the Pixar films are, but I feel like there's a great deal of emotional depth to it, and you get a lot out of the experience. And I think it's just a fantastic film. I mean, right off the hop, the principal character to me is Remy the rat. I mean, you could argue that it's the main chef character instead, but for me, I personally think it's Remy the rat, and it's this character that you get introduced to right off the hop, who is a rat, like I mentioned, who is obsessed with the best in life when it comes to food and cooking and cookery, which is the same thing, but yeah, it sounds fancier, and just, you know, is interested in these great chefs in history, and yet he's a part of a family that is, you know, rats. They'll eat just about anything, and he feels completely disconnected from that. And he, as the film progresses, he kind of joins this fancy world of chefs, and but at the same time, he's always drawn back to his family. And you do have his dad is in this, who does not believe in any of this. It's a whole bunch of hogwash, and that he should just come and be like the rest of his kids. And you have his overweight rat brother, who again has just an appetite for anything, and the relationship between Remy and his family is kind of at the core of this film, especially the one brother and the dad. And as the film progresses and you see how that all plays out, it really adds to the film a great deal. And then, like I said, you have the main chef, Alfredo Linguini, which is just the best name ever. And as the film progresses, you find out that basically Remy has this ability to take control over Alfredo's body by manipulating his hair under his chef hat, which is just an absolutely ludicrous idea. There's no connection. It's not like he's a marionette, but that's how they play it. And once you buy into that core concept, the film just kind of works from there. And personally, as ludicrous as it is in concept, when you just think about it, it's extremely charming in the film. And the connection between the rat and Alfredo, I think, is absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's not any, you know, emotional conversations between the two of them, because you do hear Remy speak in the film, but never to Alfredo. So he's speaking to his other rats, and he's voiced by Patton Oswalt, which I think was a fantastic choice. And just the moments between the two of them, where they're kind of gazing into one another's eyes lovingly, and not in a creepy kind of way, are very, very entertaining. And I think that the connection between the two is great, and the way in which they kind of push each other to follow their dreams, and they make this just perfect combination is just awesome. And there's just a lot of fun together. And like I said, the whole marionette aspect is really, really cool to see. And you have another chef, Colette, who's kind of angry at Alfredo, and has her walls up as the film progresses, and you understand it as you're watching the movie. And if you know anything about the chef industry, there are, and I'm not talking about necessarily at your corner restaurant or whatever, but at the you know, the absolute tip top, the Michelin starred restaurants, where there is camaraderie there for sure, but the level of precision and consequence and that is present. You can understand why she would have her guard up, and especially when you are introduced to some of the more villainous characters, which the main villainous character is this tiny chef Skinner, who runs the restaurant. And he's not necessarily an out-and-out villain, which I think is a great aspect of this film as well, that there's not really a complete villain. I mean, Skinner definitely has this idea of making frozen food food that is against everything that the movie is throughout the rest of it. But he's not evil. He's not trying to kill anybody or turn dogs into a coat or anything like that. This film is a lot more grounded in that respect. Obviously, it's a lot more out there in others, but I thought that was a strength of this movie. And you get this ghostly chef who died, the August, who Alfredo looks up to throughout the entire film, and Remy does as well, and just the whole, mainly Remy really, but the whole aspect that they have this ghost chef in there is part of what I was talking about earlier, where there are more darker concepts, and just I think adds to it. And then you have Anton Ego, the restaurant reviewer who just absolutely tears apart food and all that. And there's this moment at the end of the film where he eats this piece of food that kind of connects him back to why he loved it all to begin with and how he got into the industry. And it's just this wonderful sequence that it gets at the heart of this film. I think this movie is just a heck of a lot of fun, and there are a lot of characters that you grow to care about, and a lot you really root for a lot of the situations to play out as well as possible, and which to me speaks to the quality of the film. I think it is definitely one of the stronger films in the Pixar library, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you're a fan, if you think it's overrated, underrated, perfectly rated, whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people come check out this review and let me know what they think. And other than that, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you can find out when I put out a new video. Come watch it, give me feedback, become a friend of mine like so many others have, and just be a part of this community. That would just be absolutely fantastic. And have yourself a good day.